Imagine turning sunlight into food. It sounds like science fiction, but it's the foundation of almost all life on Earth. At the heart of this transformation is photosynthesis, nature's original solar power. But how exactly does a leaf grab the energy of the sun and convert it into something useful? Why can't animals, including us, pull off this trick? And what incredible chemistry happens inside a single, sunlit cell? Let's pull apart the green curtain and see how photosynthesis works. Consider these lines. The sun pours gold on the silent leaves. Green fingers catch the light as it falls, weaving sugar from air and flame. Let's pause and reflect. Even in these few words, photosynthesis appears almost magical, catching sunlight, spinning energy into food, conjuring substance from seemingly nothing. But the magic is measurable. Each leaf is a tiny powerhouse, harvesting sunlight with breathtaking precision. Why does this matter? Because every apple, every loaf of bread, every bite you've ever taken, all can be traced back to this chemical wizardry. That's the true value of photosynthesis. It's the origin of energy for almost every living thing you know. But what's really happening inside a leaf? Let's zoom in. Nestled inside each plant cell are microscopic structures called chloroplasts. Picture them as tiny factories packed with green pigment, mainly chlorophyll, that absorbs light. When sunlight hits a leaf, photons slam into these chlorophyll molecules, giving their electrons an energy jolt. Think of it like a cue ball striking the racked billiards. Energy transfers, sets others in motion. Suddenly, the cell is alive with electricity at a molecular scale. Now, let's consider a passage from the memoirs of a scientist who spent decades among plants. Day after day, I watched the leaves and wondered at their silent labor. In the lab's flickering light, we measured their breath, saw how oxygen bubbled from the green veins when the sun was strong. And always I felt I was witnessing an invisible heroism, the hidden work that feeds a world. Reflection. There's something humbling in remembering that plants don't just grow, they're actively working, crafting fuel, exhaling oxygen, holding up the world's food web with relentless patience. You breathe more easily because of that process. One of the two main products of photosynthesis is oxygen itself. The leafy labor, so often overlooked, is quite literally the reason you can take your next breath. Let's get more concrete. Photosynthesis takes carbon dioxide, a waste product for humans and animals, and water, which plants draw up through their roots. Using energy captured from sunlight, they break apart these molecules, rearrange the atoms, and assemble glucose, a simple sugar full of stored energy. The overall simplified chemical equation looks like this. 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water using light energy yields 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. In other words, plants take sunlight, water, and air, and out pops food and breathable air. It's as if leaves are gourmet chefs, cooking up dinner with only the rawest of ingredients. Let's borrow a poetic lens. Out of invisible gas and light that travels from distant fire, the leaf spins sweetness, releasing air for all to share. Reflection. There's a quiet awe in realizing that almost all the carbohydrates on Earth were once just carbon dioxide and water, remixed in the sunlight. Even your muscles, your brain, your bones, their energy owes a debt to a sunbeam that landed unannounced on a leaf some time ago. The story of photosynthesis is intimately, inescapably connected to the story of you. But how does energy from light actually become sugar? For this, we need to peek into the 2 main stages of photosynthesis. First, the so-called light reactions, aptly named because they need sunlight to happen. In these reactions, chlorophyll absorbs photons, energizing electrons. Those electrons bounce through a series of proteins embedded in the thylakoid membrane inside the chloroplast. It's called an electron transport chain, and along the route the energy is used to make ATP and NADPH, little molecular batteries that store power for the next step. Second, the dark reactions, better known as the Calvin cycle, and despite the name, they don't require darkness, just no need for direct sunlight. These reactions use the ATP and NADPH from stage 1 to power the transformation of carbon dioxide into glucose. Imagine a tiny conveyor belt assembling carbon atoms into a sugary ring, one piece at a time. Let's linger on these words. Borrowed from a modern philosopher, light kindles the world, yet the world itself must choose how to receive it. The leaf accepts not by passivity, but by active work, transforming what it takes in, giving more than it receives. Reflection. The leaf does not simply bask in sunlight. It toils, it builds, rearranges, sacrifices, and gives. In photosynthesis, there's a lesson about effort. Nothing is gained without a process, without a dance of input and output. And so, the leaf's generosity feeds ecosystems, while its ingenuity shapes our atmosphere. Here's something fascinating. While plants, algae, and certain bacteria can perform photosynthesis, animals cannot. All that green coloration, it's the mark of chlorophyll, a molecule animals lack. So while a tree stands rooted and self-sufficient, every animal must somehow consume or absorb the food originally made by photosynthesizers. Even carnivores ultimately depend on plants through the chain of life. Let's recall a poetic fragment. To eat is to take in sunlight. Many times removed, a memory of green, passed from leaf to beast to you. Reflection. The next time you eat a salad, an apple, or even a steak, remember, that energy once powered a plant, and before that, it arrived from the sun. Every meal is a history of photosynthesis, played out and carried forward, bite by bite. But the impact of photosynthesis doesn't stop at the dinner table. For billions of years, it has shaped the planet, first filling the atmosphere with oxygen, which in turn allowed animal life to flourish. That surplus of oxygen, a so-called waste product from plants, triggers almost every fire, every aerobic breath, every heartbeat we know today. Pause for a line from a famous speech. We breathe the gift of green labor, every heartbeat borrowed from leaf light gone. Reflection. If Earth had never learned to photosynthesize, there would be no oxygen-rich atmosphere, no animals, no humans. The green labor of plants not only built our food chain, but rewrote the chemistry of the planet itself. Why can't animals do photosynthesis? The brute force answer is, it's complicated. The machinery needed is elaborate and energy-intensive. Special pigments, membranes, enzymes, and protection against the toxic byproducts. Evolution took a different path for animals. Faster movement, more energy per bite, and complex behaviors at the cost of dependence on plants. We can only marvel at the trade-off. But photosynthesis is not flawless. It's not perfectly efficient. Much of the sunlight landing on a canopy is reflected or lost as heat. And plants are vulnerable to changes in water, temperature, and carbon dioxide, all of which can limit or disrupt the process. Listen to these lines. The green machine whirs, but hunger and thirst slow the wheels. Without sun, water, air, the leaf withers and the chain shivers. Reflection. Photosynthesis is powerful but precarious. Forests can die back in drought, crops can fail in climate shifts, and entire ecosystems can unravel when the living link between sun and world is weakened. It's a system both robust and fragile, and its health underwrites our own. Human scientists, inspired by photosynthesis, have even tried to replicate its genius in artificial systems. The dream: to turn sunlight directly into fuel or food, bypassing the limitations of plants. And while advances have been made, no engineer has yet matched the sheer elegance or whole-world impact of the humble green leaf. Let's end with a passage on gratitude and wonder. To watch the leaf at work is to watch a kind of miracle, energy summoned from emptiness, a world renewed, and all of us living in the light of that daily act. Reflection. Photosynthesis sits at the center of the web of life. It powers our meals, our bodies, our very breaths. Every green field, every tree, every blade of grass you see today is quietly catching sunlight, forging sugars, and building tomorrow's world. All from a process that, while invisible, is as essential as the sun itself. And so, the next time you step outside on a bright day, consider you're sharing in a cosmic conversation. Sun, leaf, air, life, touch and transform, forever cycling, behind the scenes, but never far from where everything begins.